2022. Need a motion to adopt the agenda? Any changes to the agenda?
You want to add an executive session for personnel under 313(1)B?
What, 313(1)B?
Yes.
Please.
Is that the end?
At the end. After public comment, right before.
We have the minutes of the select board meeting on April 18th. Any additions or corrections? Thank you, Wendy, for doing these minutes. Okay, the minutes of April 18th are accepted. Highway report. Bill, you're gonna do the highway report tonight?
I can do it just really quickly. The FEMA meetings are just about all over. We have everything into FEMA for the reimbursement of something a little over 300,000. As we said before, 90% is FEMA, so our share is going to be like 5%. And don't know when that's going to be all done. They'll have to go through administrative review, and we are getting the last two things that I know that need to get to them, and that is the permits from ANR and the Army Corps of Engineers. The Fed Aid highway should come at any time, and that's about 70 grand. Other don't really happen.
No other road issues or anything that's not been done on the highway?
I think David said he was patching holes today. And he said they were gonna start ditching here anytime.
Right.
That's about it.
Have all the requirements from the passive audit been completed, Bill, to your knowledge?
More from the passive audit of the highway department, yes.
And
The only one that I know of that it's not done, and I need help Danny with, is the book that has all the,
it has come.
yeah,
I think-
and the plan.
And I think that's what Michelle was gonna help with too, documenting and doing the book. And we had one thing here in the town office, which was a switch to the breaker box downstairs.
Mhm.
But we're waiting to do that until they actually do the switch over on the electrical panel.
That makes
And
sense.
otherwise, we've done everything. The library is part of our passive also. They had a number of things. They addressed some of them according to Michelle before. Some of them I think they're not gonna address, because they were, the trustees just thought that they were. So, that's kind of their department.
Do we have a deadline?
And we just keep getting reminders. So they don't really tell us there's a deadline per se, but
And generally what they say, here's 6 things to fix, you gotta do 3 of it. That's generally what they say. It's never get them all done.
So it doesn't call into question our coverage or any of that kind of thing.
And if it does, and he said, well, we can't send this till this is done, then we get it done, then you send it.
it depends on the level too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them were low level. But if it's a higher level, then yes, I think they would be on our case more.
Well, maybe we should check back in a meeting or two about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then and the other one that needs to be done, but they haven't mentioned it again, and they've been here again, and that is they want us to put in some sort of just even one of those pasture fences, or what do you call those? Rail fences are at the top of the wall over here near the pump at the pump house. They want us to do that, but we've been kind of dragging our feet on that. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to fence the river, but anyway, they want us to
Yeah.
do that little section of it.
Got it.
So maybe we'll put in 3 posts and two lengths between each.
Safety thing, if kids are walking and playing ball or something,
Say again?
is that a safety issue? Put that up?
But if they were, you know, it'd be one thing if they're asking us to put a chain link fence or something, but they just want something there.
Great. So it sounds like we have a couple of things to follow up on.
Anything other on highway? Bill?
The only other thing we can update you on is, FEMA is coming back the end of May to inspect our buyouts.
Oh, yeah, from they're auditing finally from Irene, 2011. And they're coming back
I think the
next
24th of
24th, yeah.
May.
And all they want to do is go by each piece of property and make sure that we're using them as passive parks like we said we're going. That's all.
All being what? All being what?
All we did.
Right on top of it. What do they want to change?
I'm sure they just want to see that we didn't,
Bill wrong.
that they were bought for the purpose of leaving them there and then get, as he said, you need to take 15 minutes at the most of each one and have a people.
That's the only part of it.
Yeah, they're not looking at, did we get rid of the hazmat carefully? Did we haul it all away? What did we do with it? It does look that they're not looking at the wells, not looking at septic, they're not looking at anything. They just wanted to know that.
Like the compounds park, for example, right?
Well,
That
get
would be
that
one of the
back
properties.
there's Graham, Pump House, what do we call it?
Winnie Park.
Winnie Park
Lenny Park, yeah.
down there, and they don't even want to look at the other one, they just washed away, so.
Star table.
Preamp, the preamp, sorry.
Start.
Sorry.
Table.
Kim, do you have anything under clerk and treasurer?
No, last and final tax payments due May 16th, so taxes are rolling in, yeah, really, really good. And sent out reminders, stack of them in case they had any interest due. We've given everybody the benefit. The beginning of June, I'll have a unlicensed dog report to give to the select board, and then at that point, we'll direct the constable into following up on those who are unlicensed. We do have quite a few of them. Other than that, that's it.
Any word on that, so,
On the left.
excuse me, on the dog officer?
We did contact him, and I think they said, that it's in the works. Who was it we talked to? Was it Robert?
I talked to Mark
Mark
Anderson,
Anderson.
the sheriff, yeah.
It's in the works, waiting for them to finalize the paperwork, and they're looking at starting like July 1st if we so choose to move forward.
No surprises, it was just what we thought it was so far.
Haven't heard that part yet. And
About what?
It sounds like a.
too good to be true.
Exactly.
He did, there was a little bit of surprise. He's negotiating with us, negotiating with the 3 or 4 other towns that already have the sheriff as their dog, their animal control, and they were gonna add us, and they're doing the contract to do that. And now he's saying that it may go countywide to all the towns in the county anyway. So I don't know what he has planned. That's the only surprise. And he said it shouldn't affect us anyway, but July 1st, we should have the animal control with the sheriffs if we want.
Countywide in the sense there'll be some state support, you think?
I have no idea. He didn't go into it.
What is too good to be true? What part was too good to be true?
How do you feel? I'm thinking the price.
The fee.
Yeah.
I thought the fee sounded very reasonable for the services we would receive. But I'd like to see the paperwork for sure.
Don't want to say that, they might be monitoring.
And was that the fee they quoted of $250 a month? Is that the one you're referring to, or did they get a quote better?
No, this is like a yearly fee of 22.
Probably boiled out to about that though.
Okay,
This is in addition to our contract.
Right. this is-
Right.
right.
But she came out one time and I mean, to take care of one situation, it was like $600.
Well, that was my question. Is this a retainer or then we're gonna get
No,
a
there's
fee
no-
on top of that?
I don't think there is, that's why I really am anxious to see what it is,
We'll see what the contract says.
Yeah.
and what does it cover.
Number 6, the annual audit. That's the audit we do every year. That was Sullivan.
Yeah, Sullivan and Powers, with Red Duplessis, we asked that we ask him to come back and the type of contract services that he does. It doesn't, we don't require, according to our policy, that we have to put it out to bid. So, because of the professional service. And I recommend we stick with them, since we have a good rapport with them.
And that's good job. They do a great job.
Yeah.
So is this just announcing this, or do you need a motion to continue with them?
Even though shit.
I'd like you to have a motion that we send him, ask him for a letter of intent to do our audit for this year. And in that motion, just please state that because of our policy and because of professional services, we don't have to put it out. Because I want that to be clear that we're not, that you guys are aware of that situation.
Does someone want to make that motion?
Start right.
Any other comments? 7, appointment to the planning commission. Did we see your minutes?
I have, there's a page there for you with their recommendations. There's 2 recommendations, the appointments. And there's also the virtual meeting, and I can address that after you do the first one.
We have Pat here. Do you have any comments? And then you had the meeting and.
Not really, unless you guys want to hear from me.
Well, we did ask the planning commission to give recommendations to us and have them here. So do we have a motion or any discussion?
So it looks like what happened is with Margot Matt's resignation, there are 3 openings and 3 candidates, and the terms are staggered. Is that the essence of what's in front of us? Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the slate of candidates.
Do you have a second? I'll second it. Motion to accept the candidates' recommendations from the planning commission. Want to say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I did everybody say aye?
Yes.
Good.
Congratulations.
And Seth, thank you very much for bringing concerns.
We're happy to go.
So our second motion is the PC, the planning commission is requesting the town provide the planning commission consistent virtual meeting platform along a consistent physical location that has easily accessible internet for members and the public attending the meetings.
Okay.
Do you want to address that?
Regard to the last part of that, this is acceptable up here. Don't know, the only time we ever have any problem is, generally speaking, the only time we have a problem from up here is coming in, not going out. We have this is hardwired. If they want to use their own machine up here, there's good Wi-Fi up here. It's very consistent. It's going to be better up here when we do the cybersecurity because they're going to put it another antenna right here. So it won't be coming through the floor or around the building. It'll be coming right here from the wall. And it'll be really good then, but right now it's okay. So they can use their own devices. I told them that if they decide, I told Matt, if they decide how they want to, who wants to do it, who's going to be running the computer, they can use this computer. I'll show them how to do it. The nice thing about this computer is this is the one that sends the invitation, and therefore it has control over who comes in, who goes out, and this has control over the whole meeting. That's what's really nice about it.
You got the Ethernet, it should be.
Pardon me?
You got the Ethernet, it should be stable.
Yeah, I had it plugged into that thing, and I found out that that thing over there wasn't plugged in down below.
That doesn't work.
That went for about 6 months, everybody's complaining that was it, and sometimes it was just, I said, well, it was that last foot, that didn't happen. Didn't connect, but anyway, but that all worked out, so. So, we can take care of that as long as they have somebody that wants to take some time to do this, and then the other thing is, Tim, is we need to then, does anybody in the planning commission have a key?
No, he's borrowed mine, but
Okay, so that's the only other thing we need to work out is with them.
So Eric doesn't have a key?
I remember that. That's always asked for mine. All right, come in to lock it.
And today, who's the chair? That's at the chair.
He's gonna be, I think.
So. Do you want to stop in the office and I will sign up form for
Okay. Once, I don't think it should be that complicated on the computer, so.
No, it's really, it's just a couple things, and then we've written it all out, so that.
Okay.
And when you're gonna do that too, I'll show you how to
Sure.
do that, and we just did it together.
Sure.
And, this is the best place to set for the computer, but we can move the wires around. You can sit up there.
It's fine. Yes.
So I have a question on the invitation. Does Seth send that out or do you send the invitation out?
However he wants to do it. I can do it. This computer and my other computer are the same computer as far as, I don't understand what I just said, but that's how they work. So whatever I send out on the other computer, it's as if it was sent out on this computer. This is, and so,
It's through a Microsoft Teams platform,
yeah,
right? That you control.
Yeah.
So you'd probably need to send it out unless I had access to it.
yeah, so if you just get the agenda to me like 3 or 4 days for like, Friday before Tuesday, Thursday before Tuesday, then I can get it out and post it downstairs and get it.
Okay, I think Matt's making the agenda
Yeah, he's been doing it.
the next time, and then I'm gonna start after that.
So we don't need a motion. No,
I don't think you need a motion. Kim, do you think we need a motion on that?
I don't think so, no.
update. On Spurlock letter. I believe that Joe wrote a letter. I don't know if it was sent out.
It was.
Yeah, well,
You did receive it. Thank you for coming.
We got it Saturday, so we just got it.
Do you have any questions on what was said?
No, actually, I want to thank Rich for coming out. That was great and useful. The only question is there a way to have Danny come out and chat with us to see about what could possibly be feasible? Because we don't want to waste our time, like going, negotiating, like if he can come and look at our site with us and talk about a feasibility plan, we would love to have him over. And if he doesn't think it's feasible, then maybe he can help us come up with another option to help mitigate the sound.
I don't know how expert he is on sound, but
Well, it's more like, can we put the rock wall here?
on the right.
Yeah, where it is, because it would just be a continuation of what is already there.
and I did Danny. You want Danny to do
I
that?
think if Danny could come, because Danny would be the one who would, mostly kind of tell us what would work for the road crew. Because we wouldn't want to, if we're planning this, we want to have someone's expert opinion coming in to help us figure it out.
Okay, the only hitch is Danny could work out a solution with you tentative for it to be explained
Right.
and then accepted by the select board.
Correct.
Because Danny won't be able to make a decision
Right.
on the right of way, in whether it even incurs on the right of way, who knows, because how right of ways are in Vermont, since none of them are, well, none, 99% of them are not surveyed, so the road isn't laid out, we know exactly where your corner post is and all that. It's described, but it isn't well done. So that, I think that would be a great way to start, is to do that, but then subject to you're coming back to you for discussion in front of you.
Of course, yes. And we wouldn't want the town to feel liable for anything, we just want to look and see what our options are and how feasible it possibly could be. If we could have Danny's input, that would be greatly appreciated, so we can then present it before the select board.
And I think it's important too, if you map it out
Right,
on your land, so if we do a site visit,
Right.
we can see where it's gonna go or what the possibilities are.
right, because what we're, planning, we would just want to continue some of the rock wall and really, the sound barrier fence, we know like where the rock wall is now, not right in front of our house, we could build a sound like barrier to help mitigate some of the sound. We're just trying to find a solution to have a little bit of the peace and quiet, to help mitigate. Because my husband works from home, and it's hard when, you're trying to enjoy your weekend and also work from home, and there's, loud noises. So we're just trying to find a solution to bring some peace.
Can I suggest maybe a select board member go with Danny, so it's not just Danny?
That's fine.
Yeah.
you-
It'd
Okay,
Yeah, totally fine with that.
probably make Danny feel better, it's not all on his shoulder.
Of course, yeah.
that's a good point.
And Danny knows our house. He used to work on it before we owned it. And he.
It used to be my house too.
Oh, really? Then I have
It's
some
about 10
questions
years.
for
It
you
was
about
our
the
first
flooring.
home.
I have some questions for you about the flooring in that house.
Yes, it was our first home back in 1973.
Okay. And I know about the brick linoleum. Pardon me? The brick linoleum? Yeah, we just found some of that.
Madam Chair, if you would, Rich said
I can take a run.
he would do that with Danny.
Okay,
Is that okay, John?
Well, if you want to take a place, that's fine too.
any other concerns or questions?
Now, if we can get that answer, we really appreciate it. It'd be nice.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Need for me?
Unless there's any other questions?
Yeah, that would cook dinner. Sounds like a great, thank you.
We'll all be over. Okay, committee reports, cemetery committee.
I just have a couple comments. I haven't been able to catch Ivor to see where it is, so maybe Tim can.
Amber called me on Friday, and she said that the way the contract reads, it's May 1st till October for 6 months, so that's kind of where it works in, so they weren't planning on doing anything in April. And that way you're getting more time in the fall, you can do the spring cleanup.
I was getting some complaints of the cemeteries not looking very good. A lot of trash and stuff around.
Yeah, they were planning to start to the beginning of May, otherwise they would have to tack on. Yeah, but it would be like another month.
I think he's got enough bigger crew that he can get it done by Memorial Day anyways.
Yeah, well, yeah, I hope so. That's like the big day for all
Yeah, I mean,
cemeteries, so,
that's very.
yeah. Right, that's all she had to tell me.
I'd forgotten about that May 1st start date.
I did too until she called and she said, I
Yeah.
heard that everybody's wondering if nothing's being done. That's
Right.
until May 1st.
Okay, well,
I'm
that's a
like, okay,
reasonable
that's fine.
explanation.
The other thing she said too, a lot of times April still has snow.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
right.
Anything else, John?
Nope.
Highway.
Looking on the highway, I've not heard a thing back on the right of ways. Well, I know nothing, I've heard from Carolyn and anything. I know a couple of them have sent theirs back. They're not agreeing with them. That's all I know.
John, the wonderful engineering contact that you made, I believe his name is Morris Root, is that his name? How is that coming along?
We are in the process of, coming up with a date with myself, Rich, and Bill, and Pat Cooperman, and Dorothy Cannon to do a video of the stream. And that's what we're gonna do, is get a date that all 5 or 6 of us can, meet and do it. And I'm free anytime, and
I'm free anytime, but this week it looks like it's gonna rain. But I don't know, so that's okay.
I don't want your schedule, Rich, is,
It would be helpful if you don't do it before like 2:45 in the afternoon.
Before 2:45,
You
but
do it after.
after, that would be fine.
it's probably gonna take an hour and a half, I would think, to do it. And
You don't have to rewrite everything, you can do it.
I just like everybody present, that's all.
I'd love to be there.
Do Dottie and Patrick need to be present for
It should
that?
be, yeah.
Well, they're invited to be present, they would like to.
You might want to check on Dottie's availability.
Is she here?
She's not. I don't want to announce that publicly. I would just say, check on her availability.
Yeah, well, I think.
I think I just did.
Dorothy, I think.
I'd just be out of town from the 13th to the 17th, I think. Other than that,
13th, 17th, you cannot, so,
So why don't you come up with a date?
well, let's look at the weather for next week.
Yeah.
Go early in the week, next week.
Or on Saturday or whatever, Saturday morning.
if it's the weekend, that doesn't matter one time.
Parks Committee. Okay. And personnel. We did one quarterly with, Danny, and we still have to do Bill. I don't think we have anything.
The only other thing I would point out is the comp time update we did with Kim
Oh,
and
that's right.
Michelle. And as we would expect, Kim and Michelle are keeping excellent records about the use of comp time. 2 of our employees have reached the 120 max. 2 have not. One is at 75, one is at 35. And our overtime budget is already slightly over budget. But it's way too soon to tell whether that will stay, because of course, the use of comp time will be greater during the summer. The overtime and comp time will earn during the winter, and then they'll be used during the summer. So we think this quarterly review is a really good thing to stay informed about what's happening. So thank you to Kim and Michelle.
The only thing to keep in mind too, that we're over right now on the overtime. We're in a fiscal year, so we're over right now as a fiscal, but we'll be using some of the overtime in the next fiscal year, which still is part of the calendar year of the comp time.
That was really well put. It's a complicated situation because the year for the employees runs the calendar year, and we're going to span 2 fiscal years. So that's what we have to keep track of.
So probably the end of next fiscal year, not this fiscal year, is where you're gonna get a better picture than you will this fiscal year.
Is it possible at some point to run them parallel?
They thought about that years ago, turning like our vacation time and our raises all into a fiscal year to follow the fiscal year rather than a calendar year, but then we ran into, okay, then you got 6 months of vacation that you're not counting for, and then they like, oh, just forget it, we'll keep it like it is. Because the same thing happens with insurance, and you certainly don't want to change your accounting to a calendar year. That would be really a drastic change.
I think we can manage it.
Thank you, Kim, for helping
Michelle did a lot of work too. Her charts are really good.
I'm really good to explain it all. Building committee. Bill, you're on it.
Okay, okay, the elevator project. We couldn't get anybody to bid on it except one contractor to bid on the ADA projects altogether and the elevator. So we canned that, and with the blessing of the one contractor who did, he was agreeable to. So what we're going to do is limit the bidding to 3 known contractors who are willing to bid on it, and negotiate with them and among them. It's a little bit different than the way we usually do bidding, but because we tried the bidding and we couldn't get anybody to bid on it, we got a lot of refusals. Then that this seems to be the only way we're going to get the project done. The reason we couldn't get any bid on it is everybody's really busy. And we had wanted to start it and be done with it by the end of August. And the one bidder that did come in, he didn't really put in a bid all state, but when he did come in and said, I can't even think of starting it until the fall. So that's what we want to do, negotiate with all of them and see what we can do with the best deal. So the people that we're dealing with, and none of the locals wanted to bid on it. We tried them, baked them, did everything. So it's all seasons. What's the name of the Crown Point Highway and Cement, Grafton Cement.
But they'll be negotiating with the engineer,
Right, this is for the general,
right?
They will negotiate with the engineer. That's in their contract.
Right.
Well, okay, then we called, talked to both Fred Duplessis and with the LCT, and we're kind of double protected because we bid out per our policy, we bid out for an architect who will do all this. So we got the architect at his price to do all this. He's going to do all the negotiating and everything. And thirdly, what we didn't mention under the treasurer's report is our money from ARPA is in a category that it is our money. It isn't federal money. It isn't state money. It's Grafton money. So we are going to have to make some sort of report in a year, but we don't have to give any detailed report. We don't have to follow any state rules, federal rules, other than our own good rules for procurement and so on. Yeah.
Madam Chair, Bill, would you just refresh our memory? I thought at one point we talked about contracting out separately the elevator and the surrounding of the elevator. Is that the ADA? Didn't we talk about doing that? Having somebody put the elevator in who's an elevator expert, and someone construct the exterior of it.
The projects are so small. Anybody in this town could take any one of them and do it, but they're all too busy. They don't do it. So, and it's a little bit, for a small contractor dealing with an architect and engineer, and you see these complicated 30-page contracts, stuff like that. They're not used to dealing with it. That's probably, they didn't say that, I'm saying that, that's part of the issue. In any case, with regard to this, I wouldn't be surprised when they got all done that the 3 contractors each take a piece of it and do it, because it can be done anytime. And I would like to see, I think Kim would agree with me, we'd like to see, let's get the bathroom done. It didn't have anything to do with anything else. Let's get the closet torn out and the other closet built. That didn't have anything to do with anything else, and the stairway all fixed.
Right.
So all of that's out of the way, and then they poke the hole and put the elevator.
So would that then be a separate bid?
No, it could be, but the
But we're
engineer's
gonna do it all together.
the engineer's gonna have. If the engineer comes out with it, that's what we get with the end with the engineer, fine.
Okay.
That's in his contract. The architect engineer is one contract.
So we're gonna negotiate one contract for everything.
They are.
They could sequence the architect, but they could sequence the work in the way you just described, doing the bathroom, doing the stairs. That would be great.
With the availability.
If they're available. Yeah. all right.
Okay, the other part, I'm talking way too long. Green Mountain Power is gonna put a box out here that we paid them their for it,
5,400.
5,400 for a power box out here. It'll be the ditch will be dug between the other power boxes and that one and the building, a new service. Our service for this building will come in, not from that side, but from this side. And he will put in a new panel, the 200 amp panel, this is all for the 200 amp service. And we will have a designated panel for the 100 amp service that we get from the generator. So it'll all be separate. I think that's all of that. Russ Record is gonna be the one who digs the ditch. We were dealing with trying to get that done, and the biggest thing, the reason I like him doing it is because he works for the foundation. So if there's any beef, if there's any discussion, they're right there. He and Carl can work it out. We think we're gonna be digging where there are no wires. That's how Green Mountain Power. That's why the Green Mountain Power put it way over here in the yard so that we don't have to go through the big rat's nest that's in front of these two other.
We did speak about, Big Sig. Big Sig.
Yeah, well, that'll all have to be done, yes. Yeah, but dig safe is okay. It just means that you are not responsible if you run into the wire that they don't.
And then the heat pumps.
The heat pumps, Gus promised me he'll be here Thursday afternoon. Friday for sure, but Thursday afternoon, if he get out of his work over there. Friday, he will do it. He will have them done by Friday. And I will then tell Coleman that it's done. I'm not gonna tell anything before
Very good.
that.
Thank you.
I think that, so we should have them in, but that's the thing, doesn't have the other big machine, but I think the idea is we'll put in the post office, the small 15 and put the 30 in here, the other 30 in here when he gets it.
I think they're starting to come in now. The machines are all starting to come in.
Okay. Yeah, and we had hoped to have them in by the end of last August, so. A little bit later.
Bill, thank you for, doing many phone calls and those visits and good thinking.
Well,
Water wastewater committee, I do know all those agreements were signed and it should be off and they're ready to start sometime this summer.
yeah, yes, I haven't heard from Aaron, it's the only one, everything is done.
Congratulations. Huge milestone.
Any other business?
Is Jack Breyer on the screen at home?
Is who on?
Jack Breyer.
You want to mention on the school, I think it's May 24th. At the schools, there's a meeting that our town members should attend because they've got several articles that need to be passed. So our town input is vital to be there for me. I guess the meeting is at the school.
Well, I'd like to put it just a little bit different way. It's the town voters meeting. It isn't a school board meeting. It's the voters to show up, get those articles right and pass them.
Well, it's a school district. It's a school
But
district.
it's our meeting. It's the school district residents meeting. It's a town meeting.
Right, a school district town meeting.
Yeah. It isn't a
So
school.
it's just the school.
I understand that, but
Yeah, that's what I'm
don't
saying.
tell people to attend because it'd be interesting. They should be there to vote. and
Right, but
change
it's not our typical town meeting.
Right.
It's a school district town
School
meeting
district.
for voting with articles
From the floor.
from the floor. No all day voting.
The only thing I wanted to mention, I know they're gonna be, working on, I-91, they're gonna be closing one of the lanes. And when they start working on that, Route 121 is under there, and they're gonna be closing part of 121, where you have to detour through Westminster, back Westminster Road, to go to Bells Falls or the other end of Gageville. Is there any plans, or have you heard anything, Bill, on what that's going to do for emergency response, fire and rescue?
I haven't dealt with that at all. I don't know.
It's just something.
Yeah, I would expect that Keith and Robbie have talked to Golden Cross, but I will check on that.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, we should have a plan, like either mutual aid or response times are gonna be affected if we have a big fire or rescue them.
Not my department.
I know,
I will check and let you guys know.
Just to add to that, Bill, I didn't know how to read the Vermont Roads report on Route 103, which will also be closed and exacerbate this situation to I-91. Is that on the way from Chester to I-91 exit that 103 will be closed for construction? Or is that not part of the construction?
John, do you know where it is on 103?
I don't think they're closing it. I think it's down to one lane.
That's right, it is down to
And they're
one.
just warning us for delays, because I get that. I signed up for the update that's being passed out now.
Okay, Ken.
And I think it's just one lane and delays, and they're just updating us constantly, because there's like 2 or 3 different locations that they've been working on.
And is at least one of them between Chester and I-91?
No, they're all from Chester to Springfield.
Oh.
Well, yeah, you're gonna get on 91 through Springfield,
All right, all
but
right.
they're all heading to Springfield.
I see, all right, that's good news. Thank you.
Do we know what kind of time is this gonna be?
no, I did hear about, the work, and I don't know if you've gone down there.
Yeah, I have been working there.
Yeah,
They're gonna be a long-term project or?
well, that bridge work, they're closing one of the lanes,
How to do
91. But they're doing a lot of underneath work.
it? Yeah.
I thought they were also gonna do that bridge by Patrick's. That's what I understood. They're not doing that.
Yeah, that's-
I know they're all out there.
That's the one.
They are, but it's not happening yet.
But
It's windy. Yeah, they're
when
going,
did you do?
they're going to do that bridge, but that's not what's happening right now, is my understanding.
Any other business? Public comment?
Yeah, I wanted to mention something. We, actually, Bill, I don't know if you want to pipe in, we were just notified, through the bond bank that our capital budget submitted back in February. And we won one award for the smallest, one of the small town categories for
Yeah.
having the best
Well,
capital budget.
They had 3 categories for towns with capital budgets. Burlington won the big city. Woodstock won the 1,300 population to 10,000, and we got under 1,300.
That is so fantastic. I'm so glad you brought that up.
We know we're better than Woodstock anyway. but-
Well, I think a lot of Marty's hard work putting into his charts and his diagrams and his projections, and submitted the same thing that we have in our meetings is impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, so I sent it to a whole bunch of people today, so everybody knew it.
Yeah, they want to take pictures, right, or something? Don't they want to come down?
Well, they wanted to come down, so Hardy's gonna work with all of us getting a time for them to come down and take pictures.
Maybe we could have one in the Grafton News.
New York Times. Okay,
So we're gonna move to executive session. We're gonna adjourn
I'm gonna turn this whole thing off. So the next meeting's on,
May 16th.
Yeah.
6.
I don't know if you did, but I'll be out of town.
there should be a motion to adjourn to executive session under 313(1)B.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting. To go to executive session under section 313. 1B.
Second.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Good luck in your planning commission meeting tomorrow night.
Rest of you all.
Yeah,
Bye.
See you,
Bye,
Seth.
John.
Take care. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Congratulations on getting the award. I think that's great.
That is neat, isn't it?
Yeah, that was wonderful. I'm not sure I understand it, but it was great. I'm gonna ask you, Bill, the next time I'm up, you're gonna have to explain it to me.
Well, I can show you the letter. It's really good. And I can also show you what it's really good stuff. Really good.
Great.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good night.